This is an Indian film called Stree, which translates to women in English. The story begins in a village where we see, as viewers, that in front of every house there are words written in Hindi that roughly translate to "Women, come tomorrow." We observe an unknown person walking in front of these houses. If the words "Women, come tomorrow" are written on the wall, the unknown person does not enter that house. However, if these words are not written on the wall, the unknown person goes inside. When the unknown person enters a house without these words on the wall, she encounters a watchman inside. The unknown person calls the watchman twice, seemingly hypnotizing him, causing the watchman's eyes to turn red, after which he screams loudly. This film is based on a female ghost who abducts men at night when they are alone and only leaves their clothes behind. The residents of a town named Chandari believe in the spirit of an angry woman, referred to as Stree, translates as women, who stalks, whisper their names behind their back, and whisks them away after they look back at her during the 4 days of a religious festival every year, causing many disappearances over the years. To protect the residents from her wrath, "O Women, Come Tomorrow" is written in Hindi, with blood on the entrances of all homes, and men are advised to not roam alone after 10 p.m. during the festive season, and move in groups for safety, a parallel of instructions women are usually told to follow for their own safety. Returning to the story after the scream, the scene cuts. We are then introduced to our protagonist, whose name is Vicky. He has 2 friends named Jana and Bittu. In this village, Vicky is a skilled and talented ladies' tailor, stitching dresses for women. One day, he mysteriously encounters an unnamed charming woman who only comes to the town during the annual puja season, and he falls in love with her at first sight. She asks him to stitch her a dress. We don't know the name of this charming woman, so we'll call her Shraddha. Shraddha is unusually attracted to our protagonist, Vicky, and asks him to meet her after the puja. They meet and talk casually. One day, when Vicky's friends Jana and Bittu are walking alone on a road, they meet a person called Rudra. He suggests to Jana and Bittu not to walk alone because, as per his knowledge, Stree has already started roaming. He alerts them to stay safe, advising that all men should go together. If they feel someone calling them, they should not turn back. He also says that when Stree calls them for the 3rd time, it's impossible for them not to turn back. They will definitely turn back because she hypnotizes them. Returning to Shraddha and Vicky, Shraddha gives a love letter to Vicky and tells him to read it in the morning after he gets freshened up. Out of happiness, Vicky and his 2 friends drink beer and enjoy themselves. Unknowingly, after having beer, Vicky urinates on a wall where the sign, "O Women, Come Tomorrow" is written, and the tomorrow part of the sign gets wiped off. After that, we see a woman enter a house and take a man away, leaving his clothes behind. The next morning, when Vicky reads Shraddha's love letter, she mentions "Dear Vicky" and asks him to do some favors like gathering peculiar items such as a lizard's tail, white cat's fur, flowers of datura, meat, brandy, and other presumed ingredients. As per her demands, Vicky tries to gather all the items she asked for. Vicky's friend Bittu gets suspicious and starts believing that she could be Stree because he knows that the ingredients she asked for are used in black magic, and the fact that she is not seen by anybody except Vicky. One day, Vicky and Shraddha go to a forest. Suddenly, Shraddha disappears, and Vicky also becomes suspicious of her. The scene cuts to Bittu and Jana as they walk home. Stree appears, goes after Jana, and kidnaps him. After this suspicion, Vicky stitches Shraddha's dress as quickly as possible and tries to meet her. When he meets Shraddha, he indirectly asks her if she is Stree, and if yes, to please return his friend Jana. Upon hearing this, Shraddha becomes very serious and disappears from there. Following this, Vicky and Bittu decide to find a way to save their friend and ask the town's librarian, Rudra, for help, as he is also a paranormal expert. In Rudra's bookshop, they come across a partially torn book titled Stree Puran in his library, which mentions Stree's story. Rudra explains that there used to be a woman in this town who was loved by everyone for her beauty, but only one man loved her with his heart. They decided to live their lives happily, which angered the village people who killed them both. After that, Stree began taking all the men, searching for her true love who loved her with his heart. The book also contains a way to escape from Stree, but some pages are torn. Rudra also mentions an old fort, which Vicky claims he has seen when he was on a date with Shraddha. Vicky, Bittu, and Rudra then visit the old fort which Stree is supposedly inhabiting to find Jana. Stree drives away Bittu and Rudra and is about to attack Vicky but does not, as she senses the feeling of love and respect in his eyes. She is then driven away by Shraddha's spell. Later, Shraddha reveals that she has been trying to defeat Stree for the last 3 years after losing someone close to her, which is why she comes to the town only during the festive season. This clarifies that Shraddha and Stree are two different persons. As they run outside the fort to save their lives from Stree, they see Jana completely nude, but they don't know that he is controlled by Stree. Jana erases the word tomorrow from the protective phrases outside everyone's homes, leaving it as, "Oh Stree, come," an invitation. After that day, 20 men seem to be missing, and Jana is possessed, behaving like a madman. His friends tie him up and keep him aside. Vicky, Bittu, Rudra, and Shraddha decide to meet the author of the Stree Puran book to find a permanent solution to save the town. The author informs them that Stree had once been an extremely beautiful courtesan whom every man in town desired. She found a man who truly loved her and wanted to marry her, but on their wedding night, Stree and her husband were killed by the town's jealous men. Her spirit has since been searching for her true love and seeks revenge on the town by aiming to abduct every last man in it. The book author tells them of a prediction pointing to a savior, and Vicky surprisingly appears to have all the characteristics describing the savior. He says the savior should have a long nose, fair skin, a particular skill, and his mother should be a prostitute. Initially, Vicky believes this too until he recalls the inclusive feature of the savior being the son of a prostitute. His friends then reveal the secret of him being a prostitute's son, which angers Vicky, and he leaves in haste. In a drunk state, he confronts his father, who silently agrees to upset Vicky further, but then feels grateful for his father's affection and efforts. Vicky decides to save his town, which accepted him and didn't denounce him. The friends and Shraddha make a trap to kill Stree by making him into a groom, so Stree gets attracted to him, and at that time, he can kill her. However, Vicky realizes that Stree only desires love and respect and hesitates with the plan. Shraddha then suggests Vicky simply cut her long braid, the source of her powers, so that she will be rendered powerless. When Shraddha is being attacked and almost gets killed by Stree, Vicky cuts Stree's braid and she vanishes. After this, all the disappeared men come out of the fort and return to their homes. All the family members are very happy about their return. Shraddha leaves the city the next day and Vicky bids her farewell, forgetting to ask her name all this time. On the bus, Shraddha merges Stree's braid with her own hair and then vanishes from the bus, implying that she is the witch who wanted Stree's power through her braid. A year later, Stree returns to the same village, but this time, instead of "Oh women, come tomorrow," there is a word written, "Oh women, protect us." The movie ends here, resembling that all the villagers are making or looking cheaply at women, a phenomenon that has occurred for many years worldwide. The movie's message implies that we must respect women. I hope you liked this video. If yes, please like, share, and subscribe to the video. Take care.